Andrew and Andrea. It was another beautiful day in the town of Maplewood. The sun shone, the wind whistled, and all of the students were in high spirits. Everyone, that is, except for Andrew, who wasn't exactly school's biggest fan. When he was at home, Andrew was at his happiest. He would always play with his best friend Mike. Their activities could involve anything from sticks and stones they found outside to the latest cutting-edge video game or action figures. Weekday or weekend, they always found time to have fun. But as much as he hid and delayed, he could not escape from school forever. His father would always interrupt playtime and loudly declare, "Time to do your homework, Andrew," which often meant sending Mike home. Andrew could not stand homework, especially when it came from a book. He'd rather crunch crackers into soup than numbers and problems out of a book. He'd rather study strategies for video games than study facts and figures from a book. He'd rather act out adventures than play a performance based on a book. And he'd rather read his favorite comics than yet another boring, bothersome book. Today, Andrew's homeroom teacher, Mr. Mack, began the first class with an announcement. "Good morning, everybody," he said. "I'd like to announce that we have a new student who will be with us for the rest of the year." He pointed to the little girl who was standing next to him. She looked shy and nervous. Andrew looked on with curiosity. "Would you be willing to introduce yourself?" Mr. Mack asked the new student. "Okay," she whispered quietly, then began to speak a little louder. "My name is Andrea. I, just moved here yesterday with my mom and dad." She fidgeted with the star-shaped pin peeking out of her pocket as she spoke. And, she paused, looking to Mr. Mack for advice. "Thank you, Andrea, that will do," Mr. Mack reassured her as he helped her find her seat and desk. Some of the students in the class began whispering to each other. "Hey, Andrew," whispered Mike, "where do you think she's from?" But Andrew didn't hear him. He was focused on the star-shaped pin dangling from her pocket. It looked oddly familiar. Later that day, after math class, recess started. "Finally!" Andrew exclaimed. "No more books! Time to chow down!" Well, for now at least. He pulled out a soup and sandwich from his lunchbox and his favorite Starman action figure from his backpack. He was just about to kick back and relax when Andrea gasped nearby. "Is that the brand new Starman toy I heard about?" she exclaimed. Yeah," Andrew replied. "Do you want to play with it for a bit?" "Can I?" she remarked. "Thank you so much. I promise I won't scratch it." "Here, you might enjoy this," said Andrea, revealing an action figure like Starman, except it was different. Much different. So different that Andrew couldn't take his eyes off it. "Meet Halley Comet, the distant cousin of Starman," Andrea stated proudly. Andrew looked puzzled, but accepted the gesture from Andrea. She admired Starman's gleaming silver armor and lit-up chest, while Andrew marveled the bright colors and features of Halley Comet. Just then, Mr. Mack approached the two as they were playing. "Those are some nice toys you have there," he beamed. Then he noticed Andrew was holding onto the Halley Comet toy. "Andrew, is that your toy? Wouldn't you rather play with the toy Andrea has?" Andrew looked confused, but Andrea responded, "It's okay, Mr. Mack, he's just looking at it." "I see," said Mr. Mack. "Well, time to get ready for the next class. Enjoy your recess." That was kind of weird," Andrew remarked. "Don't worry, I don't mind if you play with it," Andrea replied. Then she had an idea. "Want to hang out after school? We can save Maplewood from evil aliens." Andrew excitedly agreed. After school, Andrew went and played outside with Andrea for a bit while they waited for her mom to pick her up. He had baseball practice soon, but still had some extra time to spare. When Andrea's mom arrived, she called out, "Hi, Mom, this is Andrew. He's in my class." "Oh, hi, Andrew," her mom greeted. "Did you make any other friends today?" she asked Andrea. A few people," she responded. "Mom, could me and Andrew play a bit longer before he goes to baseball practice?" Andrea's mom pondered a bit before replying, I suppose so." The two were excited. But it wouldn't last. Andrea's mom was a bit concerned for her, ruling out activities such as playing with sticks, or playing tag, or climbing trees. Even playing with toys had to be done just right. Finally, it was time to go. "Thanks for playing with me, Andrew," she said, waving goodbye as she left with her mom. But Andrew couldn't do much because of how bossy her mom had been. Thankfully, baseball practice was about to start. The next day, Andrew was chatting with Mike just before class started when he saw Andrea. He wanted to introduce her to Mike until he saw her face. Instead of being bright and bubbly, she looked sad and somber. Andrew was confused. "Hey Andrea," he said, "what seems to be the problem?" "My lucky charm's gone missing," she murmured. "I have no idea where it could have gone." "What did it look like?" asked Andrew. "It's a gold star-shaped keychain," she responded. "It's usually in my pocket, but when I got home yesterday, it wasn't there." Andrew remembered the pin she had yesterday. Suddenly, Mr. Max spoke up. "Attention, class," he boomed. "We have some special work to do today. Everyone will go into groups of 2 or 3. We'll start with reading period." He then drew up a list, putting students in different groups. After going through the classroom, Andrew and Mike were assigned a book to read and talk about. Andrea, however, was paired with another girl in the class named Michelle. "Hey Andrea," said Andrew, "want to check if you can read with us?" "It's okay," she replied sullenly. "My mom said I should meet other girls in my class anyway." Then she walked sadly to her desk. Andrew felt sorry for Andrea. He wished that he knew where her charm went and really wanted to spend more time with her. "Cheer up," Mike chipped in. "If she were in our group, she'd probably do nothing but talk all the time." But Mike just didn't understand. Now he had to read yet another boring, bothersome book for class. Even though Andrew only met Andrea yesterday, class just didn't feel the same without her. They both had to read in different groups, spell in different groups, and do math in different groups. Even when Andrea approached her during recess, she simply wanted to be left alone. During afternoon break, Andrew and Mike were outside playing catch while waiting for phys ed class to start. "Don't worry, Andrew," Mike said, noticing that he still looked rather glum. "It's not your fault she lost her charm." "I know," Andrew replied. "I just wish she could play with us. She's got this cool action fig. Catch!" Andrew missed a throw from Mike and was about to retrieve the ball when he saw something glowing in the grass. He looked closer and closer until he saw it. The lucky charm! "Eureka! I found it!" exclaimed Andrew. "The ball?" Mike asked quizzically. "No, silly," replied Andrew. "Andrea's lucky charm." Then he saw some writing on the charm. He read it aloud. "No matter how many light years apart, we're all shooting stars." Then he remembered. The star was the symbol of the great Starman hero and the writing from his favorite Starman cartoon TV show. "Quick! We need to find Andrea," Andrew stated. They found Andrea at one of the baseball fields. She was chatting with Michelle, waiting for phys ed class to start. "Andrea," Andrew called out to her, "we found your lucky charm." The two boys were almost out of breath. "You did?" she exclaimed as Andrew showed her the keychain. "Thank you so much. I don't know what to say." "How about we play baseball together with your new friend? I think we'd make a great team," replied Andrew. "Now just hold on a minute," the nearby coach chimed in. "This is the girls' section. You boys have to go back to your own section before your class starts." Andrew and Mike were crushed. Now they would have to run all the way back across the field. "Please, coach," begged Andrea. "They went through all this trouble to get here. Can we have a group between us just for today?" The coach thought for a moment. "Well, I guess just for today couldn't hurt, as long as the boys go easy on everyone and Michelle is okay with your group." Michelle agreed, and the group jumped out of sheer joy and jubilation. And so the two boys and girls went on to have the most fun day they ever had at school. Mike introduced himself to Michelle and Andrea, Andrew met Michelle, and Andrea chatted all day long. No matter what their parents and teachers told them to do, everyone remained the best of friends, because they know that no matter how many light years apart they may be, they are all shooting stars.